Now, lest you would think that this is a bit far afield or a bit too difficult to come to terms with or too theological an argument for this particular subject, I would remind you that the skeptics and the people who create nonsense like Zeitgeist and the God who wasn't there intrinsically, implicitly accept the notion of Christianity as being the index myth, or the true myth, as I would call it. Think about what they're doing. They are essentially taking myth after myth and legend after legend, or religion after religion, or theology after theology, and comparing it side by side with Christianity. They are viewing all these myths through the lens of Christianity. They are taking the myth of Mithras, or the mystery religion of Mithras, and taking it and viewing it under the microscope of Christianity and determining what its meaning is using that lens. Of course, the word baptism never appears in the myth of Mithras, but we insert that word. Just to give some background, they would kill a boar, or a bull rather, and let the blood drip down, and then they would walk under the cascade of blood. And modern scholars will now say that's a baptism, and they will point out that as being a similarity between it and Christianity. They never use that word. We have taken the word baptism and applied it to the Mithras myth. In other words, we didn't understand that they were talking about baptism until we understood Christianity, until we viewed Mithras through the lens of Christianity. Even skeptics have begun to understand this now, and they're saying, hey, we need to stop this because we run the risk of making Christianity the marker of truth for all religion, or the index myth by which we judge all other myths by. And that's exactly what the Zeitgeist and the God who wasn't there do. They make Christianity the index myth. They make it the myth of all myths, or as C.S. Lewis called it, the bookends, or the true myth. So to briefly touch on all the points I've made throughout this two-video series, let me run through this real quick. We've determined that the myths have more than one stage of life, and the important stage of life, the one that looks like Christ, actually came from after Christ and was much more likely to be influenced by Christianity than it was to influence Christianity. The two myths that don't apply to that particular timeline look really nothing like Christianity, and therefore Christianity was not based on them. The Jews at the time, who this purported a pagan amalgamation was being sold to as the fulfillment of their particular messianic credos, accepted it. Well, some of them accepted it anyway, even though they were predestined or predetermined to hate paganism and heathenism. If you've ever read the Old Testament, you're going to see the accounts of Baal were thoroughly nasty. They really disliked these people. One of the reasons they're so terrible to the Canaanites was because they were pagan. The Jews themselves accepted the notion of Christ not being created by that amalgamation. The Gentiles saw that whatever similarities there were between them, it was really no problem at all, because they converted en masse. They, in fact, I say, saw the distinction between the Shadowlands and the Brightlands, the old myth and the true myth, or the myth made real by God intervening on behalf of people in the world of people. And we see that Christianity makes an excellent index myth to judge all myth. And in fact, that is what the detractors do when they began comparing the parallels between Christianity and these other myths. They began inserting words like baptism. They began inserting words like resurrection, which are not at all adherable or applicable to those particular myths outside of viewing them through Christianity. If you have anything to say about this, go ahead and post a video or leave a comment. I, of course, enjoy having people contest my ideas. I end up learning a great deal when people do that. Otherwise, have a great day, and thanks for watching.